Hey all, it's Nim or Nimicry if you're feeling professional, and welcome to the YouTube video. Now today we're going to talk about those melee masters that just jump right to the task, that love to nail enemies to the floor. In fact, they insist on it. That's enough Dragoon puns right now, Nim. Of course, we're talking about the Dragoon in Endwalker and the changes that it's going to undergo. But before we get started, if you like what I do or you like what the channel does, go on and click subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything the channel does. Also, you can find me live on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm usually in the Final Fantasy XIV category, but every Saturday we do something different, so keep that in mind. Finally, you will see a list of names on screen right now. Those are my patrons. Those wonderful people support a small creator like myself, and I am extremely grateful for that. If you'd like to join their ranks, you can at patreon.com/Nimicry. That's Nimicry. But without further ado, the Dragoon. When it comes to the Dragoon, I happen to always think of Kain from Final Fantasy IV. Jumps in the air, puts spears into enemies, betrays you like 4 times. Yeah. Anyways, Kain's not the greatest example. Let's focus on Estinian. Ladies and gentlemen, Estinian. How wonderful is Estinian? Estinian does all those things minus the betrayal, at least all the way up through the end of Shadowbringers. So let's think of Estinian as our Dragoon standard going forward. But Dragoon players should feel at home with the adjustments and additions coming to the job. One major change is that Blood of the Dragon, which still unlocks at level 54, will be a passive trait instead of an ability you need to activate. Life of the Dragon's function remains intact, however. The big addition to Dragoon is Draconian Fire at level 76, which is an effect that is granted upon using Fang and Claw after wheeling thrust in a proper combo, or vice versa. This replaces the existing Ride-In Thrust Ready. Now, Ride-In Thrust, gained at level 76, is subject to the effect of Draconian Fire. More on that later. At level 82, finishing a combo with Korthian Torment will also grant the Draconian Fire effect, and the Doom Spike will convert to an upgraded version called Draconian Fury while under the effect of Draconian Fire. At level 86, Full Thrust evolves into Heaven's Thrust, and Chaos Thrust becomes Chaotic Spring, stronger versions of the preceding weapon skills. Alright, seems pretty simple. Everything gets new toolkits, a little bit of a rework, a little bit of smoothing, a little bit of eliminating of pain points in the rotation. There's yet another layer to the Dragoon skill set. Once you hit level 90, executing Ride and Thrust or Draconian Fury will grant you 1 point of First Mind's Focus. When you accumulate 2 points of First Mind's Focus, you can execute the new Whirlwind Thrust, which is a strong line-style AoE attack, much like all of the other finisher moves from DPS happen to be line-style AoE attacks. Dragoon has a few other notable tweaks and additions. Spine Shatter Dive gets 2 charges at level 84. The same goes for Life Surge at level 88. The cooldown for Battle Litany has been reduced to 120 seconds, down from 180. The same goes for Lance Charge, which is now 60 seconds, down from a 90-second cooldown. And that follows the path of they're trying to reduce it to standardize from 30, 60, 90, 120. That way everything's easy to plan, and you can tune encounters around that. Seems like the Dragoon's going to have some decent builds and things. Let's take a look at the changes, the actions, and the traits. So here we see Ride and Thrust delivers an attack with a potency of 260. The additional effect is sharpens the First Mind Focus by 1, can only be executed while under the effect of Draconian Fire, which again you get at level 76, and the action cannot be assigned to a hotbar. Draconian Fury delivers an attack with a potency of 130 to all enemies in a straight line before you. Ooh, nice. No fall off there, so clever positioning will increase DPS. The additional effect sharpens the First Mind's Focus by 1 and can only be executed under the effect of Draconian Fire. Heaven's Thrust delivers an attack with a potency of 100. The combo action with Vorpal Thrust grants it actually a combo potency of 430 as opposed to 100, and grants Sharper Fang and Claw. The duration is 30 seconds. Now on to Chaotic Spring. Delivers an attack with a potency of 100, 140 when executed from the target's rear, so keep in mind positionals do matter. Combo action with Disembowel, and if you combo it, it's a 240 combo potency. The rear combo potency at that point becomes 280. The combo bonus deals damage over time with a potency of 45, and the duration is 24 seconds. So potentially, you could have a lot of damage if you actually nail your positionals and your combos right. So keep that in mind if you are playing a melee class. Positionals are important. The combo bonus is grants Enhanced Wheeling Thrust, and the duration is 30 seconds. It's gained at level 86. Whirlwind Thrust. Level 90. Delivers an attack to all enemies in a straight line before you with a potency of 370 for the first enemy and 50% less for all remaining enemies. Now, that's a lot less than 500 or 600 or 700, or even the monk who had 950. Now, the monk did have to have several layers of things acquired before you could do that, but it does seem like a lot. And of course, the first mind focus cost is 2. So you have to actually build up doing either Ride and Thrust twice or Draconian Fury twice, or 1 Ride and Thrust, 1 Draconian Fury. We have Blood of the Dragon. Increases the potency of Jump to 320 and Spine Shatter Dive to 250. Not bad. Lance Mastery 2. Increases the potency of True Thrust, there we are, to 230, Vorpal Thrust to 130, and Disembowel to 140. Grants Draconian Fire if Fang and Claw is executed following Wheeling Thrust or vice versa, and the duration is 30 seconds. Upgrades True Thrust to Ride and Thrust while under the effect of Draconian Fire, which allows you to stack First Mind's Focus and eventually execute Whirlwind Thrust. The Enhanced Corthian Torment grants the effects of Draconian Fire after successfully completing a combo with Corthian Torment. Upgrades Doom Spike to Draconian Fury while under the effect of Draconian Fire. Enhanced Spine Shatter Dive allows the accumulation of charges from consecutive uses of Spine Shatter Dive, which the maximum charge is now 2. Lance Mastery 3. Upgrades Full Thrust to Heaven's Thrust and Chaos Thrust to Chaotic Spring, gained at level 86. Enhanced Life Surge allows the accumulation of charges per consecutive uses of Life Surge, now up to 2, gained at 88. And of course, Lance Mastery 4 increases the potency of Gaga Skull. What is that? I'm going to click on that. I can't actually see what that is. There we are. Gaga Skull. That's a weird name. To 250 and Nastron to 350. Allows for the sharpening of First Mind's Focus upon successfully landing Ride and Thrust or Draconian Fury up to a maximum of 2 units. All right, that seems pretty easy. Outside of a weird name that's hard to pronounce, and I couldn't actually see that. I'm thinking the Dragoon's going to be fine. I'm thinking the Dragoon is going to have a lot of fun. It's going to see a lot of play. Of course, there is the meme of the Dragoon floor tank. Will that finally be shed in Endwalker? I don't know, but I am always a fan of smoothing out rotations and eliminating pain points. Now, I don't mean simplifying rotations so much. I mean, there are sometimes abilities that require one ability to apply an effect and another ability to maintain or spread an effect. And why not just have the first ability do that? It seems needlessly complicated. It doesn't add any really effect to my gameplay to be like, okay, I thrust with 1 spear, and now a special thrust. But it's not really a special thrust if it's delivered from the same place. It would be different if there was like a positional, like, oh, you get the buff by delivering this from the side, and then you can spread it by delivering it from the rear. That would be a different gameplay mechanic, but it doesn't work like that. So here's the question: Are we going to be jumping and nailing enemies to the floor in the chat right now in the comments? Let me know, of course. And if you enjoyed this video, why not hit subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with everything the channel does. In addition, you of course can find me on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm usually in the Final Fantasy XIV category, but every Saturday we like to do something a little different, so keep that in mind. If you want to have a longer conversation with me, there is a link down below to my Discord server, or you can follow me on Twitter at Nimicry. I do my best to respond to everybody who tags me in stuff. Finally, if you want to really be above and beyond the call of support, there is the Patreon. That is never mandatory, but always appreciated, and you can join at patreon.com/Nimicry. That's Nimicry. It was fun to make this video, and honestly, I hope that the mount you're farming drops on the first kill. I will see you in the next one. Take care, and bye.